Something is not happening here.
This for you to eat.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
I text Sheila. She's at her studio.
Oh, she's in the.
She gotta do a couple of things, and she'll call me back.
Okay. We cuts me out,
Okay.
and then you can put in whatever background you want. Okay. Okay. Here we go.
So thin, huh?
Yeah. All right. I'm getting ready to go live. So. Turn the volume down on your phone.
Is that one?
Yeah. All right. What's up, you guys? I'm back. So I don't know what's going on with Periscope tonight. The if you have audio, you guys drop in a Wi-Fi for me if you have audio. If you have audio, drop in a Wi-Fi. My phone is not even connecting, so it's really slow. What's up from Scotland? What's up, William? How you doing? Okay, good. So let's plow through this. I want to thank you guys for being patient. Technology is a bear sometimes, I'll tell you. Thank you, thank you. Welcome to the Keith B Dixon zone, the Kilo Bravo Delta zone. You guys, is official. We are here, and I got to tell you, we are here by trial and error. You had problems all day? Yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm looking at your. I got two screens here, so I'm looking at the comments on the web, and it's really slow getting over to YouTube as well. So, you guys, my name is Keith B Dixon, commercial photographer, all day, every day. This is how we do it. Hey, I'm gonna plow through it. I'm gonna make it happen for you guys. So let me see names and locations, and then we're gonna dive into these photos. I'm gonna talk about some news, some real interesting things in photography news. So let me see names and locations, just so I know who's in the broadcast tonight. Antoinette, Captain Antoinette, what's going on? Deborah, what's up? Captain Amber, what's up? Stephanie from Florida, Marilyn from Missouri, David, what's up? David, all the way from Greensboro, yes. Katrina, what's up? Joe, hey Joe, we got to indoctrinate you into the squad on a level. So we're gonna have to talk to Commander Mike about that. There he is, William Comet, my man, all the way from Glasgow, Scotland. That's what I'm talking about. Captain Lamar, all day, every day. Yolanda, I didn't know you were in California. Where in California are you? What part of Cali? North or south? North or South Cali? Which part are you in? So let's get cracking here, you guys. Let's get it going. And before we do, I always got to jump into a couple commercials, and then we're gonna dive into some news. Oh, you're in LA, okay? So that's kind of close. We got to dive into commercials. We got a couple of them, and I'm going to do the news, and then we're going to talk about these photos. Hey, I have the 90 PT program. It is going away next month. We cover sales, marketing, business, social media, lighting. It is an online-based video presentation program. I don't know. It's all of that in a bag of beans. And I got to tell you, it will impact you. It's a 12-month program. This closes the red version of this program closes because once we get 4 months into this, it's going to be hard to catch up. So this is going to close, and you can only watch this 3 times. There's another version, which is the blue version. I'll talk about that later on. The blue version is whenever you want to watch it, so you can binge watch that all day long. But this one is going to close because you can only watch it 3 times. There it is. All right, this is how we do it. This is Grand Central Station right here all day, every day, you guys. So let's talk about some news. Yesterday, you heard me mention I have an online publication called F Stop It Now, and I curate this. It comes out at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and as you see, the lead story is about the Emmett Till photos. And if you're not familiar with Emmett Till, he was accused of whistling at a woman, and he later found him dead. And it was just a lot of controversy during the civil rights movement. And that's the backstory on that. But here's where it gets kind of interesting. They're talking about it as it relates to photographs, you guys. And me, myself, personally, I'm not a big fan of taking pictures at funerals. I mean, I don't know. It's a personal thing. There's nothing wrong with it. I think it should be documented, especially in this case. But here they're talking about the controversy and the context of using Emmett Till's images. So we have some controversy here in terms of how the photos are being used. And I'm going to tell you, in a nutshell, it's probably rhetorical. We got to have it. Is it uncomfortable? Absolutely. This is F Stop It Now. You can go to news.fstopitnow.com, and that's where you can find this publication. You can also subscribe and get an email. It's updated daily on all types of photography-related events and stories. You can also see videos, mostly photography-related, mostly, or something close to it. It could be indirectly related in some kind of way. Here's another one. Looks like Vice sued again. Used photographers' work without permission. Now, you guys, this is a tricky one. I've been talking about PPA and copyright infringement, and if it goes beyond that $3,000 ceiling, there could be a lot of trouble on your part financially to get that resolved. Now, I don't know about you, but as a small business owner, cash flow is king around here, and I definitely don't want to spend it on an attorney if I don't have to. So go to PPA site. Matter of fact, let's go over to PPA's site right now, and let's take a look at that. Here's where you're going to go. So just go over to the PPA site, about PPA, advocacy and copyright, and here it is. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better segue into this. Look, it's real simple. We need your help. I'm a PPA member. I'm on the diversity committee, the co-chair, and I got to tell you guys, this is critical. And as you can see, I'm going to flip back to this article for effect. Right here it is. Sued again. Used photographers' work without permission twice. Just totally violated the artist. And I'm just going to hope that that photographer has the resources to get it done. So all you got to do is just sign up here, contact your congressman, get in their ear, just make a phone call every other week. Call every week if you have to, because PPA is on Capitol Hill lobbying to push this legislation through for you. So be sure, you guys, to sign up. It's that important. So there it is. Zeiss. Oh, I love hearing news about Zeiss. I love Zeiss lenses, you guys. And I got to tell you, when you read those MTF reports and you compare them to other lenses, I got to tell you, and MTF is just modular transfer frequency. That's complicated. I know it's complicated. We don't have to get into all that. But the MTF report just tells you exactly how sharp the lens is from the center out to the edge. And Zeiss usually does very well with that. So they're mostly making lenses for the smaller cameras. Hey, if this news is definitely news to your ears, I want you guys to drop in. Let's go 2.2. 2.2, if this is news to your ears and you're like, Keith, you know what? We like this segment. Keep doing it. 2.2. And if you like this, throw up a Wi-Fi, because what I'll do is I'll continue to update you guys on new developments in the industry. All right, perfect. Look at that. Hey, look, when it comes to like gadgets and gizmos, I'm on it all day. Gootson, never heard of him, launches Mozar Air 3-axis powered stabilization system. I don't know. I own a couple of those, and they could be good and bad. So I don't know. I would go to Terry White and see if he's reviewed that already, and get at it. Okay, so let's dive out of there. There it is right there. So tonight we're talking about professional lighting tips, and I'm going to show you some images that I made, and then I'm going to talk about some things that I would have done differently. I'm going to take you for a ride here, so get ready. Okay. So this image right here was photographed in studio. This guy is a rapper, and a pretty well-known rapper. He did some really good songs. And here's what's interesting about this photo. He wanted me to do a white vignette around the edges, and what they would normally do is they'll come in and get this and try to get it as perfect to their album cover as possible, and then go pay the graphics company to do the rest. Well, this is how it started, and as you can see, it's pretty sharp, it's pretty clean. And if I had to do anything different with this photo, I think I would have changed the direction of light. Because you see that hot spot on his head? This is kind of like straight out of camera. I just dropped a vignette on it and showed him when he was in studio, and he was like, "Yeah, that's it for me. I love it." So it's really straight out of camera with minus the vignette. And if I would have did anything different, I would have changed the angle of that light. You see where it's reflecting off his forehead? Now, you can get a towel and some powder and knock that down, but here's the catch. You want to be able to get these images out of camera correctly without really having to do a lot of work digitally. Now, I fixed on the original version that I delivered to the client, I fixed that just by dragging over some layers and replacing that area where it's blown out. But if I had to get it right in camera, the thing that I would have done is change the angle of the light to reduce the reflection. And that's something you have to kind of figure out based on your softbox and how big it is and all of that kind of stuff. Too much detail to go in tonight, but I want you to really understand what changing the angle of light will reduce reflections in a lot of cases. Is this making sense for you guys? Drop in, let's go 2.2, 2.2, let's go. 2.2, if this is that kind of information, like, I've been getting those hot spots and I've been trying to figure out how to deal with it. Keith, why did you just give that away? Have you lost your mind? I've been losing my mind my whole life. If you're just tuning in, Keith B Dixon, this is the Kilo Bravo Delta Zone official. We are officially in the Kilo Bravo Delta Zone, you guys. I am a photographer. I've been doing this a little bit, and I got to tell you, I love it. I don't think I'd be doing anything else. I don't think I can. I don't know how to do anything else. How about you? Throw up a Wi-Fi if you just want to be a photographer. Throw up a Wi-Fi. Thank you for the hearts, you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, we're well over 13 million hearts. 13 million hearts on Periscope. 1,670 plus people following the broadcast. The web views are doing well. And I want you guys to know that I have a podcast. It's podcast.keithbdixon.live. There it is right there. And as soon as I get it together, I'm going to put together a whole package. And you guys know when I promote whatever I do, I really promote it. So as soon as it's ready, and it's not ready yet, it's not fully ready, I'm loading content. Yes, it's a lot of work, but this is what I do. Let's get into this next. Well, you know what? I'm going to show you guys the podcast. I'll show you the page in a second, but I just wanted to tell you about it. Okay, so let's talk about this next portrait, and I'm going to tell you about the challenges here. So a lot of clients that I work with, they will hire me just to shoot what we call super white. We call it super white, white sweeps, knockouts. They don't call them knockouts anymore. That was old school. That was back in the day before people really knew how to shoot good super white. So we called them knockouts. Oh, shoot it on a background and just change out the background. No, we don't do that anymore. So we shoot it on camera just like this. And here's the challenge with this. Sometimes you'll get a client and they're not going to give you the greatest smile or the greatest eyes, and you really have to work it out of them, literally. And that's why you got to be on your lighting game. You can't be fussing and fighting with green screen, right, William? Yeah, back in the day we were doing green screen knockouts and all that kind of craziness. I don't do that. This is coming straight off the camera like this. I'm not interested in sitting at a computer doing any type of editing beyond, some blemishes and some other things that we have to correct. Now, her facial structure is pretty good, but she's also young. But I'm going to tell you, the face and the hair and the eyes and the smile is not the challenge here. If you look, so we're looking at the screen, camera right, you'll see that her hair is pulling away from her face, and that's creating a shadow. Now, if your lighting is jacked up or wrong, that is going to go black, and you're going to have some problems. So you got to be super cognizant, super conscious, super aware of the shadowing that's going on in there, because when they shrink this picture down, it's going to look like a blob of blackness. So you got to be real careful. And this is the importance of not only having good uplighting, and here's the key, here's the nugget I want to throw at you. When you uplight, do not use electronic light. You want to put a reflector in there, not a flash, not any kind of constant light, no electronic light. You want to use a reflector. Is that making sense for you guys? So that's the nugget on this photo, and that's how you're going to get light up into that crevice, right? That gap where her hair is falling apart, and make this image happen. So don't use electronic lights to upfill. You always want to use a reflector. If this is making sense, I want you to put in, let's go 3.3. It's important because you can't get the light low enough and it's just too hard. So you want it to look as natural as possible, but you got to fill in those shadows. And sometimes you might want to use the shadows to hide a person's face or a double chin. And that's what you get into, really playing with your light. You're going to use shadows to shrink the face down, lower the chin, the volume on the chin, all that good stuff. So literally, here's what I had to do. She has kind of like the sad eyes. I'm just going to say it like that. She kind of has like those sad eyes. And what I did is I worked on her smile first, and I let her see where the best range of her smile is. So sometimes I'll hold a mirror up and say, pull your smile up, pull, pull, pull. And when it's perfect, I'll tell them to memorize that. I use all silver. I use silver. That's me. Silver is a little bit more difficult than the flat white, but I like silver. And then as she's pulling her smile up, I'm going to tell her to memorize where it's good at. Okay, you see how that feels where you're smiling? I want you to smile like that. And then once we get that worked out, then I go for the eyes. Okay, lift your eyes, lift on the eyes right there. The eyes are perfect, and it feels very awkward for them, but you got to get eyes and smiles to make pictures work. Is this making sense for you guys? Is this making really good sense for you guys? Yes. Sleepy eyes. Yeah, sleepy eyes, sad eyes, lazy eyes, the whole 9 yards. Yep. All right. So I want to hit you. Hey, you guys, by the way, Jocelyn is in the studio tonight, all the way from Southern California. She's up here working a photography job on location. She stopped by. I got to tell you, thank you, Jocelyn. And watch this. Look at this. She brought Public Enemy #1. And don't think for a second, oh, wait a minute. And I'm not playing. Godivas on top of that. Yep. She comes bearing gifts. I love it. All right. So let's take a look at this other photo. And Jocelyn, are you on right now? You're watching the broadcast? Throw up some emojis so they can see you. I don't know. 5017 is going to be 5018 or maybe even 5019. All right. There's Jocelyn right there. She's sitting right in front of me, you guys. So there she is. Let's throw her some follows. By the way, throw Jocelyn some follows. Let's blow her screen up. Is people following you? Have anybody following? Because we're watching right now. How many follows did you get?
From where? From this?
Yeah.
Periscope? I don't think any.
Oh, okay. So you should have one. There she is right there. Okay. So there it is. All right. Let's go to this next photo. All right. Now, I got to tell you, this was a challenging photo because of her face and the symmetry of it. She's got a round face and big cheeks, you guys. Now, this is normal. Let me stop. I'm going to stop right here, and I'm going to tell you, when you go to a workshop, you guys, here let me put the camera on, because you got to see my emotion and my spirit in explaining this. When you go to a workshop, generally you're working with models, and they are perfect in the sense for the job. They know how to turn, they know how to pose. The instructor is probably rehearsed and practiced because we want to come off, flowing. In the real world, it's not like that. You're going to get people coming in who are unprepared. They don't know how to pose. They don't know how to smile. They're nervous. They got stuff on their mind. They're not professional models. This is what you're working with in real life, like 90% of the time. You got to know the fundamentals and the basics of not only posing your subject, but you've got to know the fundamentals and basics of how to connect with people. Steve just followed you. So he did? Okay. All right. And then Yolanda followed as well. Who else followed? Yolanda, Steve. All right. There she's thanking you guys right now. All right. So when we look at her face, I was thinking, how do I minimize the width in her face? How do I minimize the width and not make it so, puffy? And she was concerned about that. Now I'm shooting tethered in studio, and I only rock with tether tools, you guys. You see me tweeting them. And you see me jumping on the content, pushing it out. And one of the reasons why I tether is so I can see the images. And one of the other reasons why I use tether tool is because you can get data transmission issues easily and not even know it. So there it is right there. So what I started doing, I started realizing her straight on shots made her face look really big. So I started backing out a little bit, and I use prime lenses when I photograph portraits. So I back out, and then I start turning her, and then we get this photograph right here. So I'm backing out, and I'm turning her, and boom, there she is. And I got to tell you, she loved this photo. And I'm going to tell you it was primarily because of her face. And I don't do a lot of photoshopping. I really don't. And the thing I want to share something with you guys that's really important in portraiture. I'm going to go back to this other picture, and I'm going to do a change on the fly. I'm going to do a change on the fly here. Give me a quick second. I want you to look at her eyes. I want you to look at her eyes right here. And I'm going to enlarge this photo so you can see. I'll lower that, go in really tight. Okay, now I'm going to bring that photo back up. I just enlarged it. Hey, I love working on the fly, you guys. Look at this. Now, here's what I want you to see. If you look at the camera right side of her face, where we've minimized one side of her face, we made it asymmetrical. You'll notice that there's something between the eye and the edge of the face. We call that the skin edge. You don't want her eye when you're photographing someone, you don't want their eye to bleed into the background. So you need a gap there. You need spacing there between the background and the eye. We call that eye or skin edge. Eye, skin edge. There's a lot of different variations to it, but you just don't want the corner of the eye touching the background. So you got to know just to turn them just enough. And I like a little texture and a little realism in my skin. And you can get into, some disagreements with clients about how far to go with an edit. But I like texture. I like a couple little blemishes here and there to let people know that this is a real photo, because professionally, people will look at your photo and it's like, oh, wow, that photo looks great, but in person, you don't want them saying that kind of stuff. So you want your clients to look as close to the portrait as possible. All right. Now I'm going to pause for a quick second. I'm going to take some questions, and let's see. Do you guys have any questions for me? Any questions? Is there a delay or a lag here? Because generally it is. All right. There it is right there. How many lights did you use? And do you use frequency separation? Okay, so let me take that first one. How many lights did I use? So generally I always use 3 lights, sometimes 4. Even on these white sweeps, I'm using 3 lights. So I'm lighting the back, I'm lighting the front. I'm lighting the front with a main and a fill. So I've got my main and a fill, and then I'm actually lighting the background with 1 light that's directly behind on a cone or cone reflector. So that light is hitting, and I'll measure the f-stop on the back to make sure that my light is not bouncing back onto the subject. We call that blowback. So when your subject is really close to the background, your light's really hot, you'll get light blowing back and coming over the shoulder. It has that cloudy kind of look. You can solve that problem by just moving your subject off the background even further if you have the space. The other thing that you can do is meter. Obviously, meter. You want a half stop to a whole stop difference between your main and your fill and the background. So that's why metering is very important. As for frequency separation, I don't. It's just too time consuming if you've got to bang through 60 portraits. What I will do if I have a problem, you're welcome, David. What I will do if I have a problem with, some texture is I'll create 3 layers and then I'll erase off the top layer and drag the layer over, merge them together, and I'm out. So remember, when you rock it with me, I'm about getting it done quick. Frequency separation is technical, and I've definitely done my homework on it, but it just doesn't fit into my workflow. Now, if you've got the time to do it, if you're a retoucher and that's your job, I'm going to tell you it's great. But if you've got 60 to 70 portraits that you have to deliver to a client, I'm going to tell you, you can do a batch edit, record, and all that kind of stuff. That's not going to be the game for me. So I'm not saying that it's not good. Frequency separation is a very good technique. It really is. But you got to look at your workflow. Does that make sense? So here's what I'm going to tell you. You should learn frequency separation and also the gorilla technique that I taught you. And I might have to show you guys again. And it's real simple. You create 3 layers. You erase off the top layer with a soft brush until you start to see texture come through. And then you click on the layer right below it, drag it over, merge them back together, and get up out of the program. That works 100% of the time. Now, if you have something far more complicated, then I'm going to say use frequency separation. Is that making sense for you guys? Did that help with the questions? Any other questions? Let's play Jeopardy again. Perfectly Clear is update. Yes. And a tip for Perfectly Clear too. Deshaun brings up a really good product, Perfectly Clear. I used to rep Perfectly Clear back in the day at the trade shows, webinars. And one of the things that I would do in Perfectly Clear is I would apply a setting and then back it off with the opacity until it was perfect. And they have this white point technology in Perfectly Clear that is pretty precise. Now, if your image is shot, and I'm going to give you the pros and cons. If you're shooting a 30 megapixel picture and it's really clean, Perfectly Clear is not going to help you. It's not the right tool for that. You don't need it. That's where you're going to have to go into Photoshop and really use techniques like frequency separation and masking and all of that kind of stuff to protect your layers. So if you have a big file, you've got to use more advanced techniques. Any other questions before we dive out of here? Any other questions? How was the scope? Was this scope good for you guys? Is this one we should give F8 or F7? I'll let you guys pick. Is this a F? Should we go 7 or 8? 7 or 8? Which one? F8? Okay, so let me see 8.8, you guys. Let me see 8.8. 8.8. And here's, I want to share something with you guys. I announced, matter of fact, I declared my candidacy for my PPA certification. And I got about 75% through the actual test material, and then job sets in, right? I get really busy. It's been my challenge for the last couple years, is trying to find the right amount of time to study for that, because you literally got to shut things down. I still read and I still study, but taking that test, for me, it's not about passing the test. I'm going to pass the test. I want to score high on the test, on the exam. And that's my goal. I want to score high. I don't want to walk out there somewhere in the high 80s or 90s, because it's a pretty difficult test. That's where I want to be. Now, as far as my portfolio goes, I pretty much have those images in the bag. So I'm going to tell you that's probably the easy part for me. So where do you want to land as a photographer? The reason why I'm taking the exam is not because I need to learn how to shoot. That's a given. I need to advance my thought process and my techniques in shooting. That's why I'm taking the exam. But it's the one thing that studying photography and studying for this exam has done for me is it's made me a faster shooter. I can set up faster, I can light faster, I'm more intuitive about it, and that's what studying is going to do for you as a photographer. I want you guys to really understand that it becomes a lot easier, and you know what? You start to connect with people even more. You can never stop. I mean, I've been doing this a long time, and I'm still learning stuff, techniques and edits and lighting position, angles, all the complicated stuff that I had no idea about is starting to make sense. Why are we measuring the center light, the point source of the light? Why are we measuring that down to the center of the reflector? Why? Because it gives us a better exposure. Well, if you don't know that, then you're missing out. So look, don't think you got to just step out there and do it right away. Don't be gung ho. Take it slow, and just relax with this information. Did this make sense? Was that a good way to end the scope tonight? Was that a good way to end the scope, you guys? All right, fantastic. Yes. Marilyn put C in there. I love it. All right. Tambian. Thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Keith B Dixon, and I hope that you take this information and really run with it. Run with it. And I want to see you guys become the best you can be as a photographer. My name is Keith B Dixon. This is the Kilo Bravo Delta Zone official 7705. Monday through Friday. This is how we rock. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. I will see you in Detroit. It's coming up pretty quick. You guys, it's going to be pretty exciting. And we're working on, Canon has decided, you guys, I'm going to throw this at you. Canon is getting on board with us, and I don't want to be too premature. I mean, I'm gonna say it's about 90%, but until the ink dries, Canon is getting on board with us, and they're gonna help out with the sports end of the conference and Terrell. So I got to tell you, this is a great thing. Our conference is gonna grow, and it's gonna grow wildly popular and wildly influential in terms of helping you as a photographer, you guys. All day to Canon for that one. Peace. All right, you guys. Keith B. Dixon. I will speak with you in the morning. Morning motivation off the top of the dome. You guys, I got the daily 8 minutes, and the daily 8 minutes is doing pretty good. I gotta tell you. So, all right. Hey, I don't. I always got an ace up my sleeve. When it comes to Nikon. I bleed Nikon, but I'm gonna give props where props are due. So, yes. All right, you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Keith B. Dixon. I'm out. Peace. Sean Lee, what's up? Man, hey, Sean, you missed the whole scope. Where you at, man? Where's Sean? Hey, you guys, this is the after party. Where did Sean go? Hey, his Metro phone might have crashed. Sean's Metro phone might have crashed, you guys. So, thank you for the hearts, too. And thank you for staying around for the after party, y'all. Hold on, let's see if, because he might be trying to reconnect with his Metro. Okay. Yeah, he's probably having, because I had a hard time getting on, and I got a great phone, so he's probably having a tough time with the Metro. But I think he got the Metro Plus now. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Appreciate it. All right, you guys, I'm up out of here. I'll see you.